Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you some desserts that I have used on carnivore for weight loss throughout the last 2 or 3 years of my journey. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas that have helped me to lose 145 pounds so far. If you're new here, welcome. Please check out some of my other videos and follow me on this journey. For those of you returning, welcome back. I hope you enjoy today's video. Okay, so the holiday season is upon us. Here in Canada, it started on October 10th with Canadian Thanksgiving, but I know in the US it's about to hit its frenzy period because you guys have got Thanksgiving next week in the US, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, all that other stuff. And there's a lot of talk about desserts. There's a lot of talk about how people are going to get through the holidays. Maybe it's your first year. So I have been, as you know, a long time. I started low carb, then keto, then ketovore, and now carnivore for the last 2 or 3 years. So the desserts were a problem at first because when I was low carb and keto, it was all about the desserts, all about the desserts. There are so many keto desserts you can have, not always to our benefits, because I believe that it can help keep the cravings alive if you overdo it. So when I started going carnivore, I actually started making desserts that were carnivore about 3 years ago and on this channel. So we are going to go back through time on this video. We are going to revisit some of those desserts, and you're actually going to see quite a difference in how I was coping and eating then versus now. And also even, I was shocked, but also even what I looked like then versus now. I had no idea that I had changed so much. And I think you'll probably see that as we go through, you know, in order of the desserts that I've done here that are carnivore and have helped me to lose weight and have helped me to transition from having frequent dessert type meals and treats to now it's like a rare thing. We're talking maybe 3 times a year, 4 times, a birthday or Thanksgiving or Christmas, but my desserts have changed. They are, a couple of ingredients, no sweeteners, no sweet taste, compared to back then when I was, trying to make it taste like some of my keto desserts. So transitioning from sugar, to keto sugar substitutes to where I am now, it's been a journey. Don't beat yourself up if it's taking you some time. I'm going to suggest a couple of products here that did help me through that time. I don't use these anymore, but I still have them in case I make something that the whole family is going to enjoy. And they all still like the sweet taste. So what this is liquid stevia drops. And what I like about liquid stevia drops is that you control it. So if you're still really wanting that sweet taste, and you put in enough drops for that, gradually you can reduce it down little by little till you're down to 1 drop and then 0 drops. It is very doable with something like this. And the other one is a product called glycine. It's an amino acid. It is not a sweetener. However, it does have a sweet taste. And so there was a couple of times I would make a cheesecake or some kind of dessert that was all animal, like cream cheese and heavy cream or something. I would put a little bit of this in. So that kind of helped me. It's like I guess a gateway into where I am now. So, those are a couple of things that I still have in my cupboard. All of the other stuff is gone, the erythritol, monk fruit, allulose, all of those things I do not use anymore. But I certainly don't judge anyone who is still using them. So if I am going to use something, if I'm going to make a dessert, you know, that I'm sharing with the family, stevia is probably what I would use. And then if I can, I try to make a portion for myself that doesn't have anything. So, you know, that's kind of a way to slowly move over. So we are going to, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be as shocked as I was when we went through these old desserts, but let's get started. So we're going to just go over to the first video that I made in early 2021. When I first started, you know, doing this stuff on YouTube, the very first thing I made was a cheesecake, and let's watch that now. Okay, this is a super simple cheesecake recipe. It contains cream cheese, butter, eggs, and a little bit of flavoring. No sweetener. It also contains heavy whipping cream. So this whipping cream is the normal grocery store kind. This was before I discovered that I could buy the additive-free heavy cream. Basically, you just mix all these ingredients together. I'm flavoring it with some coffee. I also like this cheesecake with just some lemon flavoring. Once you have all the cheesecake batter mixed up, it goes into a pan that fits into the Instant Pot. This can also be done in the crock pot. All the ingredients, all the instructions and variations are on my website on a printable card, which will be linked below. And also the full video is linked below as well, so you can find out how to make it. Put some unsweetened whipped cream on top, slice it up, take a bite, and I think it's just heavenly without the sweetener. Okay, this cheesecake recipe uses cream cheese, the brick kind, and it also uses heavy whipping cream. And if you would like, it also uses glycine to sweeten it, or you can just leave that out. I also did make a pork rind crust for this cheesecake, but I don't think it's necessary, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but you can certainly include it or not. So the cream cheese and the heavy whipping cream just gets mixed up together, and then you chill it in the fridge for a few hours, and it comes out nice and firm. I also added some true lemon to give it a bit of a lemony flavor. There's no sweetener in that. And you can add some optional whipped topping. I like to portion my cheesecake that's for myself into these little jars so that I have some portion control. I didn't put any of the crust in my portions. Those will just get frozen. And then I made the cheesecake for company, so that's why I am topping it with blueberries. The blueberries, of course, will make this a keto cheesecake. And people do not even know when they taste it that it is keto and that it is carnivore friendly without the blueberries. It just tastes like a really nice, light and fluffy cheesecake. It looks pretty enough for company, and it actually tastes delicious. This carnivore birthday cake is a cross between Maria Emmerich's egg white bread and Kelly Hogan's Oopsie cake. And it is quite a nice cake, as it turns out. There's really just a few simple ingredients. It contains liquid egg whites, as well as just a couple of tablespoons of egg white powder. I used true lemon crystals to give it a lemony flavor, but you could use lemon drops, those sugar-free drops, or lemon extract. I used glycine back then to sweeten it a bit. Now I don't think I would even use that. It's going to taste really light and fluffy with just the heavy cream. I would also suggest making this in 2 cake pans rather than the springform pan, because it's not that easy to cut it in half. So put it on a nice little cake platter, and then use some whipped topping to make a filling and top it, and then put your whipped topping all over the whole thing, decorate it with some candles or some, you know, if you're serving keto people, you could put some strawberries on this, you know, just decorate it any way you like, or just leave it like that. It really is a light and delicious cake. I hope you are enjoying the desserts you've seen so far. This video was very complicated to put together and required going back and doing all kinds of fancy editing, as we'll call it. And to help me with that, I need sponsors, and I am so grateful to Element for sponsoring this particular video today. Element is the drink that I drank to prevent leg cramps in my legs at night. And it was funny because the day we're shooting this, my sister is coming here. I spent 2 weeks with her on the road a couple of years ago, and she woke up with leg cramps every night, and she is now a devoted Element user. I'm sure she'll be asking if I have any extra when she arrives today. So we both use it for that. And you know, anytime you change your diet or you exercise a little bit more, there's all kinds of reasons for needing the electrolyte. And even like my sister, if you're not following a keto diet, she needs them too. It can be almost anything. And so I really enjoy using these. I only need one a day to kind of keep things at an even keel for me, unless it, like last summer when we had extreme heat, I used 2 a day. I was doing a lot of exercising with the move that we made to this place. So, you know, your circumstances can change. So right now, Element is offering to my viewers this 8 flavor sample pack. This is available with any order from their website as long as you use my link, which is going to be on the screen and in the description below. That link is drinkelement.com/ketogenic woman. That's drinkLMNT.com/ketogenic woman to get your free sample pack. It will be added to your cart automatically with any order. And they have a no questions asked money back guarantee, so not much to lose there. So thank you so much, Element, for sponsoring today's video, and let's carry on with the next carnivore dessert. Okay, so the next dessert that I'm going to show you for carnivore is a coffee dessert video that I did back in December of 2021. In that video and in that time, I was still having sweeteners. So I had actually never made that dessert before without sweeteners. I always had added a little bit, and like I said at the beginning of this video, I don't actually make desserts anymore. It's rare, like Thanksgiving, a birthday, Christmas. I decided to make it yesterday because I wanted to make sure it you know, was going to be good without the sweetener. And so here I have it. We're just gonna watch a short little clip from that video so you can see what I'm talking about. You know, remember that one had the sweetener in it, this one doesn't. So watch that, and then I'm gonna come back and slice this up with the alternate presentation. There really is only 3 ingredients in this recipe. It is strong coffee, which you can use decaf for, whipped egg whites, and whipped heavy cream, all mixed together. Full instructions are in the full video that I will link below. It has a really nice texture and tastes fantastic, nice and light. Okay, so now you've seen that, and you saw that I made it in little jars, and I did that for portion control at that time because I do have a problem with sweets. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to have the same problem without sweets. I'm actually not even doing dairy right now. So all of this is going to be refrozen. This has been in the freezer since yesterday. I wanted to show you the 3 different ways that I portion this out. So this is, you know, my jar version. So I put an amount in the jar, and I would let that sit for about 15 minutes on the counter, and then, you know, top it with whipped cream or not. It doesn't really need it. It's almost like a frozen mousse now at this point. Then I decided I wanted to test the difference between putting it in silicone versus using parchment paper and a regular loaf pan. So here's the silicone one. It's much smaller because I didn't have a bigger one. But this is how I would do it. I would let it sit for a few minutes to slightly thaw, and then I would, that's for storing the ones to freeze later, and then I would just get a sharp knife and slice it into serving pieces. So then what I would do with this is, it's like a semi-freddo frozen Italian coffee dessert. You know, that's the nearest I can tell you. So then what you could do is present that on a plate, maybe with some berries, or, you know, depending on who you're serving. Like maybe you've got keto people, maybe you've got people that you're entertaining that just want something light and whole food type servings. So that's sliced pretty easy. And I'm going to just throw them in here. Just wanted to, I think that came out of the silicone very easy. So if you have a silicone pan, that's probably what I would do. And then here we have it in the parchment paper. That came out nicely. Yeah, but of course it's molded itself to the folds in the paper. So again, this would be a nice summer dessert. You do have to serve it right away, because if it sits too long, it's going to melt. So there again, you know, put it on a plate, top it with something or not, serve it right away, and you know, even if it's just for yourself, it's fine. These freeze well. I don't think I'm going to get them all in here, but I might have to freeze these other ones. Yeah, I'm going to have to put those other ones in something else. But what I wanted to do is I have only ever tried it sweetened. I want to try it with it being unsweetened now and see if it's as good as I remember it, because it's been about at least a year since I've had this. Okay, so it tastes like coffee with cream, black coffee with cream, which I happen to like and think that tastes very good. You could use decaf coffee. In fact, that's what I used in here. I used decaf coffee, and then top it with something, and it's very light and refreshing on the palate. Perfect for a summer dessert. So let's go on to the next recipe. Brown butter bites are super easy to make, and many people call them carnivore candy or even carnivore crack. You basically just melt a couple of sticks of butter. If you're sensitive to the salt, use unsalted butter, because they come out saltier when they're done than before you started. Melt until you get a nice golden brown color, but don't go too far. When it's a nice golden brown color, then you can remove it from the heat, let it cool for a couple of minutes, and pour it into a measuring cup. Make sure you get all the brown bits, because that's where the flavor is. You can either spoon it into little bite-sized molds. These are 1 teaspoon each. Or you can also just use parchment paper in a big pan and pour it right in. Then let either these little molds freeze or your big pan. For the big pan, you can just break it up like bark into whatever size pieces you want. I like the little 1 teaspoon mold, so I do this. The other thing you can do is make whipped brown butter bites. So it is the same thing. You melt your butter in exactly the same way till it's brown, and then you whip it with your beaters until light and fluffy. It should look like this. And then spoon it out again into freezer mold, or you can even just put it in a jar and spoon it out as you need it, whatever is your preference. Whatever you make, whether it's the whipped or the regular brown butter bites, freeze them until they're solid. And I like to keep them in the freezer, and you can have them, you know, just if you need an extra 1 or 2 teaspoons of butter, they're there. Or just a nice creamy little snack, they're perfect for that. This is my air fryer version of Kelly Hogan's Creme Brulee. All you need are some egg yolks, some heavy cream, a little bit of vanilla, a pinch of salt, I use Redmond's, and a dash of cinnamon. The first step will be to heat up the cream on the stove. You want it quite hot, but not boiling. So now we will whisk the egg yolks together with the cream. Do it slowly so that you don't cook the egg yolks. Then you can add in the other ingredients. I'm setting the air fryer to 325 for about 25 minutes. It is in a water bath, so you'll notice when I open that air fryer lid that the tray has about 2 cups of water in it. Once it comes out of the air fryer, you're going to want to chill that in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours before cutting it. That will allow it to really set. So rich and delicious. Okay, so this is a simple recipe that is reminiscent of my childhood desserts of Jello and ice cream. Basically, all we're going to do is make Jello out of any type of flavored tea, whether that's herbal teas or packaged loose tea. Some of my viewers even suggested that I could make this using black coffee, which I think is a fantastic idea. So whatever tea you're going to use, the first step is just to steep your tea and then bloom some gelatin. I use beef gelatin powder. Mix your tea along with your bloomed gelatin. Stir it until all of the gelatin dissolves. Then you can pour that into a glass pan, put it in the fridge, and wait until it's firm. Once it's firm, cut it up into squares and serve it in a dessert dish with some whipped topping. The bonus is that you're going to get some extra collagen with this recipe as well. Perfect dessert for after dinner. Okay, so for the last recipe in today's list of carnivore desserts for weight loss, I'm going to do one that I've never made before. Yes, I've made carnivore ice cream before, but I just haven't made this particular one. This one is called Kiltz's carnivore ice cream, and many of you probably have seen this one or know of it. I'm going to do a small amount of it because, one, I'm not doing dairy right now, so I'm going to have to hide it away in the freezer. And two, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I'm going to do his everyday version. Now, Dr. Kiltz is somebody that I saw at KetoCon when I went in April. I did not know who he was before. I was not aware of him. And I attended one of his sessions, and he is warm and funny, and he loves ice cream. So I immediately love him just for that. This ice cream has an egg yolk and heavy cream. I'm putting in a pinch of vanilla powder. You can use vanilla bean, I guess, like real vanilla bean or vanilla extract. Lately, I haven't been liking that sort of alcohol aftertaste in the extracts, and so I thought I would try using some powder. The cream I am using is Avalon Dairies. The only ingredient on here is cream, nothing else. So I feel very comfortable using it if I am going to have dairy. I need something to break this egg. I'm just using the yolk. We need 1 yolk. Use that egg white in my breakfast later. And just whisking up the yolk. Now, Dr. Kiltz actually says he doesn't have the ice cream very often, and when he does, he actually sometimes will use honey or cane sugar. 1 tablespoon for the whole recipe. I'm making half a recipe, and he uses 1 tablespoon for the whole recipe. I don't know if I can do that because it's risky business for me. So I'm doing it without the sweetener, which is what he recommends. I don't really know how much vanilla powder to use. So here's what happens. This cream is so fresh. It just thickens up right in the jar. So I'm going to try and push that down so I can get some liquid. Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter. It should come out. This is the best cream. So there's our cup of cream.
I knew I was going to do that. Oh, well, okay.
Oh, and the other ingredient that he recommends, and I agree with this because I do this in my creme brulee when I make it, is a pinch of Redmond salt. There's something about it that makes this taste really good. Okay, so that's ready to go in the mixer, but almost ready. I bought this new little mini mixer. It makes 1 portion of ice cream, but it recommends that you chill your mixture for an hour before you pour it in. And so I'm going to do that now, and then I'll be right back and I will clean this up and have my mixer here ready to go so you can we can take a look and see how this ice cream works. Okay, we're back. This was in the freezer for an hour, so it's still liquid, but it's thick and cold, which is the plan. This here is my little Dash ice cream maker. It makes 1 cup. You can only put 1 cup of liquid in here, so it makes sort of a personal size. This is the first time using it. It's the first time making Kiltz's ice cream, first time using this little guy. So I've got my little manual handy here. I'm hoping it's just going to be that easy that I don't need to worry about it. So again, this ice cream has no sweetener. It's just an egg yolk, a cup of cream, some vanilla powder, and a pinch of salt. All right. Oh, I guess I probably should have, I think this is for pouring. I should have read the manual. Okay. That snapped in nicely. Okay, so apparently now I just do that. And it said in the little book that this part can take up to 20 minutes. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. You don't have to, of course. We'll bring you back as soon as this is finished. It's actually only been just over 10 minutes. This looks ready, and I may have put too much in, so I want to stop it. And because it literally looks like it's overflowing, but it looks thick, which is good. That's what we want. Oh my goodness, look at this. I mean, to be honest, this is more than 1 serving for me, but look at that. But let's give it a try. This is Kiltz ice cream, vanilla, no sweetener, no sugar, no substitutes, no any sweetness of any kind other than what's naturally in the cream. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, that is ice cream. Dr. Kiltz, thank you very much. This is a winner. This is a keeper. This will top off my video about all the different carnivore desserts that are out there that can get us through the holidays. Okay, so see you in a moment. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little walk through memory lane for me, although there was a couple of them that were fairly recent, and that you have some good ideas of ways that you could incorporate some desserts in your program over the holidays without having to start all over again in January. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So give some of them a try and let me know how you do. Let me know which ones you tried and which ones you're going to try in the comments. And if you need any help with anything, just leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer it. We will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.
I have stage fright. Performance anxiety. Performance anxiety. Okay. Hi. Don't. Where'd she go? She's gone. Hi. I'll lick that out later. Did I say that out loud? There it is. Hi. Today we're going to make a keto. Oh, okay. Hi. Hi, my name is Anita. No, that doesn't sound right. Nah, cooking ideas. That's what I wanted to say. I don't want to have a catastrophe.